Welcome to the Northwest College tutorial video on accessing SimBook through Moodle. To begin, we want to type in moodle.nw.edu. You will know that you have accessed the right website by viewing the exact same thing that you see on your screen here. Once you're there, we'll locate the login button in the upper right hand corner and click on that once. Once we've done that, it will take us to a new screen that has the username and password listed there. From here, we will simply put in our username and our password prior to clicking on Log In. Once it's fully typed in, we're ready to go ahead and click on Log In. From here, it will take us to our home page. At this point, we want to access our courses. You will locate that on the left-hand side of your screen. Once you click on that, any course that you are enrolled in would appear below here. In this case, we should only see one because this is the one that we're going to be using for today. So let's go ahead and click on that. It takes us to another screen. This is the home page for the particular course in question. From here, we would want to scroll down until we see the McGraw-Hill Ayers logo on the right hand side of the screen. From here, we will click on the hyperlink that's provided for us. Once we've done that, a new screen pops up with the splash page. This is something that we have to agree to in order for us to go ahead and gain the access needed. So let's go ahead and click on that little box that we agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Let's go ahead and get started. Once we've done that, it takes us to this screen. This screen is our home page for the courses, or for this particular course. Be careful not to touch anything else other than this logo that my arrow or my mouse is hovering over at this point in time. Once we've clicked on it, it again takes us to another screen. At this point, it's important that you choose the right option. The question asks if we have a SimNet login, and we do not at this point in time. So we will simply go ahead and click on No. At this point, a whole new set of screen and options appear. At this point, we're going to want to take a few moments and fill in all the information. A side note, when it comes to your username and your password, use the same one that you have been using for Moodle. Of course, the option is up to you. However, for sake of simplicity, that will probably be the best way to go. Once we've filled in that information, I'm going to ask that you pause at the Student ID menu. At this point, our screen should look like this. We should have our first name and our last name populated. We should have our email address listed there, and the same username and password that you've been using for Moodle access. It's suggested that you use the same for this. So now we're at the last field of the screen, which is our student ID. Please take note that the student ID that I will be populating this with will be the same one that you will use. If you notice, it's also the name of the actual course itself. So once you've taken a quick moment to ensure that the student ID is exactly what you see on my screen, we are ready to go ahead and accept once more the terms of service, and then go ahead and click on Create. So from here, it gives us a successful message that we have successfully registered and paired our SimNet account with everything that we need to continue. So let's go ahead and continue to SimNet. From here, this is what we've been waiting for. This lists all of the books that's relevant to your course in question. Let's do a quick little walkthrough as to what you can expect on a day-to-day basis. Let's start with the first chapter. Here we have Excel Chapter 1, Getting Started with Excel 2013. From here, it's safe to say all the information that we see here is correct and accurate, so let's go ahead and simply open the SimBook. Once we've clicked on that option, you notice it's going through a series of calculations to the point where it finally opens up with the very first page of starting with Excel 2013. Let's get a little bit more acquainted with this by simply choosing the first option, Introduction to Excel 2013. Once we've clicked on that, you notice that the screen scrolls over to our first page. Here, a couple of things to note. You have 3 buttons on the side, listed Show Me, Guide Me, and Let Me Try. It's very interesting to note the differences between these 3 options. First, you want to get familiar with what it is that you're reading. So take the moment to read through the introduction. And once you've read through the introduction, anything that they're asking you to do or anything that you're not 100% sure on, feel free to go ahead and choose the first option. Let's take a look and see what it looks like when we select it. Once we've clicked on that, you've noticed a whole new screen pops up. This is actually a video detailing pretty much what you have just read on the previous page. Instead of waiting for it to load, let's go on to the next one. We have Guide Me option. When we select this option, it is similar to the Show Me, with the exception that it allows you to make the options and choose as you go along. The third option, which is Let Me Try, actually allows you to put into action what it is that you have read on your screen. One very important note. What you see, is not the whole page. Before you go on to the next page, you want to make absolute certain that you scroll down to the bottom. The reason being is there is an exercise that you would want to basically take and pass before going on to the next chapter. Once we've clicked on that arrow to the right or to the left, it takes us either forward 1 page or back 1 page. And that's basically how you would navigate through the SimBook of your choice. Again, these 3 options on the side allow you to put it into practice on your own through Let Me Try option. It also allows you to try it with a guide through the Guide Me option. And then it also shows you in real time what it is that you've just read via the Show Me option. And congratulations, you have just become familiar with the new SimBooks that's provided to you through Northwest College and Moodle.